Today we're going to talk about crew members and how we can try to support them a little bit better. We're also going to talk about boarding passes, some onboard updates from different princess ships, and we've got actually lots and lots more with two things we're going to talk about with Holland America. Just so much to talk about today, so let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Tuesday, it's November 22nd of 2022, and I want to start off talking to you about crew. So I think that all of us who have cruised have had the lovely experience of associating with crew members on board of cruise ships. Our experience has always been that they do their very best to take good care of us. I think that some of them honestly try to foresee what our needs will be and take care of them before we even ask, or they are very generous and anxious to help when we ask for something or need anything. They always go above and beyond. Now, so it's with a heavy heart, I saw this on Sunday, and I didn't quite know how to talk about it yesterday, but today it's been really clear to me that we need to talk about this for a minute. So it was reported on Sunday that a crew member who was a crew member on Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas took their own life. And it says that after leaving the Port Canaveral Cruise Center, they went overboard on purpose. And as they looked into this person more, they said that the crew member requested to sign off to return home due to some related bad situation back home after his contract had been extended, but he asked if he could go ahead and leave, and his request was denied. It says some crew members said that he also had some back home issues. The talks amongst crew members is that it might have been the trigger for the alleged suicide. The cruise center has contacted several crew members who have confirmed the death, saying that the crew member was working as a galley steward. And so I know that this happens from time to time. I don't hear about it quite as often as I think it happens. I saw this news first on a cruise law news website. They talk about a lot of different things to do with the law and cruise lines, but then when it hit Newsweek and some other outlets today, I thought, oh, it's a big deal, which it is a big deal. Someone lost their life, and so, I don't own the cruise companies. I'm not able to do anything about that, although I'm trying to think about how to do something about that, because then they went on to talk about how the cruise lines don't have mental health counselors on board their ships to help their crew members. And so I was trying to think of what we might be able to do. And I know that what always comes to my mind is I always try to remember to say thank you and be very appreciative and grateful for whatever crew members do for me, greet them with a kind smile, go out on my way to be nice. And I think that the majority of us are. The other thing that I always think of is, and this is like a personal preference thing, but Gordon and I have chosen that we always tip generously to more than one crew member, just simply because it's our way of showing how grateful we are for what they do for us, because they're there working for many and they need money. And so to me, it's just like showing them with what they need how grateful you are for them. And so I would really like us to have a discussion in the comments, even though I know that we can't fix the whole problem because there's lots of suicide everywhere. But I just wanted us to be aware of it, and if we can think of anything else that we might be able to do to help with crew members when we're on board, or anyone, of course, I think that it would only benefit us as a group to be thinking of what we can do, and individually as well. And I also I just wanted to tell you the great confidence that I have in all of you and what good people I know you are, and I am really grateful to get to be here with you and to visit with you every day. The only thing that would make it perfect is if I could hear back from you every day, but I know that's kind of not how this works, but I always do like to hear from you, very much like to hear from you in comments, and I could hear from you every day that way, and in emails. I really appreciate it whenever I hear from many of you, but this really just touched my heart, and I wish I knew what to do better about it. So let's go ahead and move on to something a little happy, or at least more cheerful. So yesterday we were talking about the fact that when you go to Japan on a cruise, this coming up, Japan is just barely reopening for cruising, and we'll talk about that more. But the realization that, like with what's going on in New Zealand and Australia, that some vaccines and testing and masking is going to be required again there as well. And then somebody had mentioned that they're going to be sailing to Hawaii on the Sapphire, and they're going to have extra testing. I went ahead and double-checked Princess's website, and they are still not listing it by destination like they used to. They do have a snazzy little a little form that you fill out there online, and you enter you can either do your booking number and your first and last name, or you can do your voyage number. And once you click on submit, it will bring up what the protocols are for that cruise. So I thought it would be kind of helpful if any of you who are sailing soon want to do that for us and let us know what it says. And I put the link to do that down below this video. It's on the Princess website as well, but I thought I would put it there for convenience for you. But I thought that might inform us of kind of what's coming up on some sailings that are coming sooner than later, what the protocols will be. The next Princess cruise that we have scheduled at this time is not until October of 2023. It's our group cruise to see the Northern Lights, so if you want to come, send me an email. But at the same time, we're going to look for something sooner on Princess. But so being that far away, I tried that booking number, but they just said that it's too far away. They don't have the protocols yet. But I thought that would be very handy for you to know. The other thing is we keep talking, a couple of times now I've talked about Black Friday sales, and our Anne-Marie, our Let's Go family member, put a comment below yesterday, which was an excellent reminder. Like, pay attention to pricing, and don't always assume just because it says a sale that it is a sale. I went to book someone a Holland America cruise yesterday, and Holland America had raised their prices for the very same cruise, and I looked around on some other cruises, and yes, the price was risen on those as well, higher than they were last week. And so just kind of pay attention to what pricing is doing, and if you're happy to pay that price, then you should book it. And if not, then you shouldn't book it. That always applies. But just be aware that just sometimes they do that with prices. I know another cruise line, like, they just kind of move pricing around. The first, on some cruises, that like if the first person's supposed to go free and the second one's 75% off, I've seen that the price for the first one has gone up a lot. So just be aware. Also, another helpful tip that one of our Let's Go family members put below, we were talking, about what to do in Cartagena, what to do in Costa Rica, and she put down what to do. And you know what, you guys, this works anywhere in the world pretty much. Anywhere that has. She said that they will often go to an historic hotel and enjoy sitting there and having coffee or lunch, tea, whatever it is that they would like to have. And I thought that is an excellent idea in so many parts. There is very often an older part of town or a restored part of town that would have an historic hotel that you can go enjoy sitting in a beautiful place, and it just kills a little bit of time. You get to see the beautiful area there, and so I really appreciate that. So that's our Let's Go family member, Elaine. Thank you very much, my dear, for submitting that. Now, a couple of updates that we've got on board some ships. The Enchanted Princess was just southbound off of the coast of St. Thomas, and the captain announced that they're having an issue with one of their generators, so that they are going to be a couple of hours late arriving, and I think they were supposed to arrive today. Before I did this video, I haven't seen any other news on that, so keep us up to date if you happen to be on the Enchanted Princess or hear what's going on with her. Now, here's another really interesting topic, and I want to hear from you guys about this. This is important. So, as I told you, the Diamond Princess just barely sailed from San Diego, initiating her restart for cruising, and she set sail, like I said, on Sunday, heading down to Mexico. Somebody has commented, just let me know that they're already on, so they boarded the ship, and already all the dinner reservations are already gone for the main dining rooms and the specialty dining, and so they were upset that they would have to eat the buffet every day. Now, let me tell you, you can go to the main dining room and eat without a reservation. So they will usually have one line for people with a reservation and another line for people without a reservation. And you can go stand in the line and go ahead and be seated. Some cruises that Gordon and I have been on, the line for no reservation would move faster for a while than the one for people with reservations. So go get in line. Don't think that that means you don't get to eat in the main dining room all week. And with those specialty dining reservations, really keep your eye out, because I know, like, just when I was on the Discovery Princess, I realized that my my dinner at, what's the Italian restaurant? Well, anyway, you guys know what that is. I should know what that is. I do know what that is. Anyway, it was on formal evening at like 8:30, and I didn't want that, and so I switched it. Now, before we got on the ship, right close to when we realized Gordon couldn't come, I tried to switch it, and there were no openings. But later, then there were lots of openings, and so I just picked the time that I want, and so keep that in mind. Really watch. You can do it right on the app, or you can walk up to them and to the maitre d' at that restaurant and just say, "Have you got any cancellations?" And sometimes people just don't show up. They don't cancel it in the app, but they don't show, and then they can seat you. I have actually seen that happen. And so don't think that all is lost. And then another thing that I wanted to add, they mentioned that they were supposed to have a glass bottom boat excursion, and that was canceled, and how disappointed they were. And I just want to say, I know, until I had spoken with someone that helps organize a bunch of cruise line excursions last week when I was at the convention on the Norwegian Encore, I did not realize how much went into that, and I especially did not realize how many different vendors that used to supply excursions went out of business during COVID, and so now the cruise lines are scrambling trying to find the kind of excursions that passengers would like to go on being offered by someone, and then even at short notice, sometimes they don't have enough people to staff them, and so that just really enlightened my thinking a little bit and made me not so upset when things happen that we can't control. So my suggestion is always have a backup. Either look at what other excursion you're going to do, or have looked at Viator or TripAdvisor before, so that you can quickly pick up another excursion if yours gets canceled. Remember that. And that brings to my mind also, I had the lovely opportunity to speak with one of our Let's Go family members, and she was saying that when they were in Rome this summer on a cruise, when it got time for embarkation, it happened to be during a 3-day taxi strike in Rome. But she was smart, and she knew ahead of time to think of, okay, what am I going to do if this happens? And so she just quickly booked a private car to take them from the port into Rome so that they could carry on with their glorious day of sightseeing and not be at the port wondering how they were going to get into town. And so always look up what your option is going to be so that you've got it in mind and can quickly grab it if plans change or availability of taxis change or excursions, whatever it is. Hopefully you won't have to use it very often, but I think it's very wise to have something else in mind. Now, we had a Let's Go family member put in the comments, how and when do you get your paper boarding pass? And so I replied to them, but it also made me think that if you have not cruised recently, then you probably wouldn't know, because I know we used to always print out our travel documents, everything that went with it, and part of that was the boarding pass, and you'd have to have that when you arrived for embarkation. Well, be aware now that with Princess, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, all of those all use their app. That's how you do it. And with Holland America, when I went on in June, they were really happy to see my paper boarding pass so they could scan the QR code. But I also know you could just have it available on your phone. And they also had steps you had to go through the app on the Holland America, for Holland America as well before you embarked. But I just wanted you to know that really the apps are the way things are moving right now. And luckily, they are not complicated at all. They're very straightforward. Like I said yesterday, I think the best in the industry without the medallion is Royal Caribbean Celebrity. They're owned by the same parent company, so theirs is the same, and it is really very easy. But Norwegian's was not hard, and Princess's isn't hard. It's just not quite as smooth and doesn't have as much information in it as the others. All right, so I thought it would be fun to talk about a few other Black Friday deals too, because you know what, sometimes I think it opens the window to even think about different cruise lines in different places. And the one that I thought was really fun to see was the one that Hurtigruten, Hurtigruten. They are over in Norway. They go to other places in the world, though, I should say. But they have, so what they are doing special. They're releasing more Black Friday deals than ever because they are celebrating Norway's 130th anniversary. They're going to have discounts on all of their Coastal Express voyages from July of 2023 through March of 2024. They are also offering new cruises in 2023, which would include the Svalbard, I'm probably saying that wrong, Svalbard Express and North Cape Express that are going to take people to the northern and western Galapagos Islands. They said that so you can get 50% off booking destinations such as Antarctica, Alaska, Greenland, the Galapagos, Iceland, and Norway, and some new itineraries also in 2023. They also said that, and you know what, by the way, this started yesterday, so this sale is active right now. They are also going to be doing, they're including 50% off, like 50% off is a lot, of the National Parks of North America's West Coast Expedition, and that's going to be departing on March 3rd of 2023, as well as the Nature and Culture of Central America's Pacific Coast, and that's going to sail on April 25th of 2023. So I just wanted to let you know, and they have lots and lots more cruises. So if you want to do something a little bit different, do it. And you should know that, like I said, they obviously go all over the world, but the thing that they were initially known for was going up and down the coast of Norway and stopping in all the little islands, all the little port towns there along the way, and they still do that. So it's a very special way to see Norway if you want to do that and to see other parts of the world. The other thing that I thought was interesting, and I know that expedition cruising has become so big. It used to be that there were just a few vessels that would do that, but now there are so many different companies with the expedition vessels. And Aurora Expeditions, they have some sailings that they are not going to charge people that single supplement. And so let me tell you which ones they are. It says, solo travelers can join the voyages of the expedition company's small ships, the Greg Mortimer and the Sylvia Earle, without paying the regular single supplement, which amounts to a 50% savings. Expeditions include visits to destinations such as the Arctic Circle, Greenland, Iceland, Svalbard, that I'm saying wrong, and the Northwest Passage, and even the Northern Lights. And so it says there's going to be also a bunch of savings also for people who are non-solar travelers, 50% off up of a bunch of their sailings as well. So look it up if you want to. Aurora, just like the Aurora Borealis, Aurora Expeditions. That's the name of that ship. Also, we've got two big news things from Holland America. So Princess, I've done a video about it, and I'll have Gordon link that below, has a refer a friend program, and now Holland America has one too. So the way it works is you have to have sailed with Princess or Holland America. Let's just talk about Holland America. To do it for Holland America, you have to have sailed with Holland America and have a Mariner number. And if you have done that and you have a friend or a colleague, anybody you know, that you would like to refer to Holland America that has never sailed with Holland America before, you just fill out the form. And when they book their cruise and sail, they get $50 of onboard credit, and you get $50 of onboard credit for your next cruise. Isn't that nice? Princess's runs just the same way, except for they just do $25. But still, if you're referring someone, it's better than nothing. And so I thought that was very exciting. And then the other news that we have gotten from Holland America is you might remember that they did that special transatlantic from Rotterdam to celebrate their 150th year. Well, also in celebration of their 150th year, they are releasing what they are calling their heritage voyages, which are supposed to be extra special. And so it says there are going to be 48 different heritage cruises. They're going to be rolled out over this next year, and they're going to include itineraries like all over the place, like Alaska, the Caribbean, Northern Europe, the Mediterranean, Australia, New Zealand, South America, Hawaii, Mexico, just basically everywhere that they go. And I love that they say, as a beloved company that's been around for 150 years, these special heritage cruises allow us to continue celebrating Holland America Line with our guests in a meaningful way. And so they are going to go to a lot of ports. They're going to call in over 56 different ports over the course of these different voyages. They're going to have menus on board that were like original Holland America menus. They're going to have some entertainment on board that is reminiscent of the entertainment that they had on before. They're going to have a throwback happy hour on select of the Heritage Cruises with select drinks as low as 75 cents, a special Dutch high tea offering sweets like the oliebollen and speculoos, SPECOOLUS. And so I just think that sounds absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to look up a Heritage Cruise. I want to see where they're going and if Gordon and I can go on one. If you think that sounds like fun, put it in the comments below because I think it sounds fantastic. Finally, I saw this news yesterday and it just made me happy. And so I thought I would comment on it, and I was thinking, does this have to do with cruising? And it does. So, Disney has been struggling for a while now, and it's really big news that their bad CEO, the one who is kind of not doing such a good job, Bob Iger, is going to come back for a couple of years, 2 years, they say, out of retirement to try to get the company back where it needs to be heading. And so the way that I think that this will really impact cruisers, sincerely, is I know a lot of people will go on a Disney cruise or another cruise there out of Florida. Then they'll come back and visit the theme parks or go to the theme parks first and then on a cruise. But they'll spend a few days there at the parks. And the reason that I think this is going to have a big impact on people who cruise is it's going to make the theme park experience better. And it's also, I'm really hoping, they just announced increased prices for the Genie and a couple of other things. And so I'm hoping that maybe they'll be able to bring those back down where they belong. But I think in the long run, this is really good news for cruising. For people who like to cruise, go on a cruise, and then go over to Disney World, or even out of California, go on a California cruise and then go to Disneyland, as well as the Disney Cruise Line Company. I think that this is going to affect a lot more than we think of when we first think of it. So I just thought it was good news, thought I would pass it along. We can talk about it in the comments below. So thank you all for coming. I am sorry I still have a cold. I'm working on getting better, but I really just enjoy checking in with you all and making sure everyone's doing okay and sharing with you what I think the important headlines are for the day. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you appreciate these updates, please do give this video a thumbs up. It actually really does help us out. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.